Hey guys, sebchoof here, bringing you my first item guide / review. Today we're going to be looking at the Conducting Wand. The Conducting Wand has 110 to 192 damage per bullet. It has 8 tile range, 125% more fire rate. It also gives you 4 more dexterity and 4 wisdom just for wearing it, and 6% more XP bonus. This is what the shiny version looks like. Now this wand, for how easy it is to acquire, is pretty damn awesome. This is how good it is compared to the best tiered wand you can get in the same area. As you can see, it's 20% more damage at least, maybe even 30%. Though it does come at the cost of 1 tile range, and this wand doesn't pierce like tiered wands do, but you can always keep it as a swap out for when you do want to do more damage against a single target, which is probably majority of the time. This wand drops from the Horrific Creation, which is the second boss of the Mad Lab. It also drops from the Prismatic Dungeon mod and standard quest chests, but if you're looking to get this item as soon as possible, the last 2 options aren't exactly farmable, so you want to find Mad Labs. The best way to get Mad Lab in my opinion is by going to the Haunted Hallow biome, which is the one with the like purplish floor. You can find one in this area. There's also a beacon a bit up and left of this one. When you're in the Haunted Hallows biome, you want to look for these white minions. You either want to skip past all enemies looking for them, or just look for them the most. They have the best chance at dropping the Mad Lab. Now when you're in the Mad Lab, you want to fight the second boss, and in order to do so, you obviously have to kill the first boss, but after the first boss it asks you to kill these coils, which is what you need to do to open this door, to open up the second boss. What I really like doing and what I recommend you to learn to do is destroy all the coils on the way to the first boss, because then you don't have to worry about going backwards all the way to the beginning. This dungeon's room sizes are quite big, so it's quite easy to rush past all of the enemies. It just takes some practice. You definitely don't want to stand on any enemies, especially the exploding bomb guys, the big silver robots, and the red guys when they're enraged. In fact, don't shoot the red guys at all, they just become stronger. And while you're rushing past, make sure to get all of the coils you can. The coils spawn in the same places in each room. The dungeon's randomly generated, but the rooms are the same. It just picks a random room in each slot, basically. Some rooms don't have any coils at all, and you want to make sure you don't miss any splits. One way to know if you're on the main path and not a split is if you see a breakable wall preventing you from going into the next room. That means you're on the main path. If there's any other splits while you are on the main path, you want to clear that out of any coils first, because you don't have to want to backtrack later. When killing the first boss, make sure to worry about the green potions the boss throws. Don't stand on them because they will insta-kill you. Same as standing next to the turret thing when it does shoot, because that will insta-kill you as well. Otherwise the boss is pretty easy, but you want to try to learn to kill it as fast as possible, because after a while the boss kind of hides in that capsule thing, not sure what else to call it, and it's really annoying because he stays in there for quite a while, well at least it feels that way, and he spawns a lot of minions. So if you're on a weak character like I am in this video, it can take quite a while to dispatch all the minions. What you want to do is try to kill the boss as soon as possible. A good tip I have for you for the first Mad Lab boss is the boss tries to throw poisons and turrets on top of you. So what you want to do is bait the throw, move a tiny bit back, and shoot the turret or the poison, whichever one it is, while also piercing and hitting the main boss. And that way you're not losing any damage on the boss, while also getting rid of whatever that threw at you. While you're clearing out the coils, store as many mana potions or magic potions as you can, so that when you are fighting the boss, you can just blow all of your mana and then keep filling it back up with the magic potions in order to kill the boss faster. Even if you kill the boss in 2 cycles, meaning the boss enters the capsule once, I think you've done a good job. If the boss does go into the capsule, the main minion to worry about is the silver guys, because if you damage one and you back onto it while it's exploding, GG, rip your character. After killing that first boss, there's that gate that is blocked off until you destroy all the coils. If you did miss any, they will show up as red dots on the minimap, which is pretty convenient, but it's just really annoying going back to have to kill them. So you do want to learn that strat where you kill all of them on the way, and then you can enter in once they're all dead. You'll see the guy, you can't shoot him while he's in his normal form, he has to turn into an animal first, and the way you do that is by baiting him into the green liquid. Once he's in there, he'll be invincible for a couple of seconds, and then he turns into a random animal, and then you can deal as much damage as you can. This is another pretty annoying boss fight where it will take you a couple of cycles to do it, because he has a lot of HP, so if you're on a weak character, prepare to do at least 3 cycles at most, hopefully 2-6. But if you have any magic potions left over, you can use that strategy here again. You also want to learn how to bait the boss into the poison as well as you can without getting killed, because if he dashes towards you while you're sitting in the poison and you don't move, he will insta-kill you, probably. Something that I like to do, a lot of people stand on the opposite side of the pool. The problem of that is you're sometimes not in the range that he can see you, so he won't dash towards you, and instead he'll go into another phase of invincibility, which is so damn annoying. So what you want to do is you want to stand on the pool as close as you can to him as possible. I mean, I'd say you want to take at least you want to have at least a 7 tile range between you guys so that he doesn't jump to you too quickly. But standing in the pool makes it more safe that he does dash towards you instead of doing another phase. And then once you see him jumping, you can learn the timing, but once you see him jumping, you can quickly strafe away, go into the blue liquid which cleanses you, and he's invincible for long enough after jumping in the poison that you do have the time to un-animal yourself, whatever it's called, and then do your damage. Now the conducting wand, if I had to guess, has about a 1 in 50 drop rate as a white bag from the horrific creation, so it is a bit of a grind. But one thing that makes this grind a lot more worth it is you can get another wand called the Abomination's Wrath. Now, I'll go into this wand in more detail in another video, but this wand is also really amazing, but for different reasons. This wand has much stronger damage per shot. As you can see by this graph, it actually does more damage than a conducting wand later. It scales better, because lower fire rate wands usually do better. This one has 55% fire rate. It's because if an enemy has higher defense, every time you're hitting it, your damage is subtracted per bullet by the enemy defense. So thus, if you're shooting less shots, less damage subtraction, basically. But this wand has much more annoying shots. Not only do they wave, but they move much slower. Something I forgot to mention is conducting wand has a really nice shot speed, so it feels really nice to shoot. Something I recommend is maybe you should be happy with either wand that you get and call it a day, but if you really want to go for the conducting wand, knock yourself out. It is more new player friendly, and it feels much nicer to use. And it looks really awesome with the rest of the Mad Lab set. Speaking of the rest of the set, you can also get a really strong robe from the first boss, which I'll go into more detail in another video, and the experimental ring, which is an okay ring. You'd be better off wearing the highest HP or highest DPS ring you can and swapping between both, but at the very least the experimental ring is good feed power for an early game pet. Oh yeah, forgot to mention you can also get this amazing scepter for if you're playing sorcerer. The conducting wand is damn amazing. I would give this wand like an S. I'd say it can't be OP because it doesn't scale that well into endgame, and there's some mid-game ones that are on par, at least. But for how early game you can get this wand and for how safe it is to acquire, I'd say it's damn worth it and extremely strong. When I start a brand new wand character, I would start it by spamming Mad Labs. As you can see, because of the high fire rate, it does a really good job at dispatching low HP enemies, because not only don't you have to worry about over damaging enemies, meaning that if you have a high damage per shot, there's not a lot of damage going to waste, but you move on to the next enemy sooner, and it's got a really high shot speed, so it just feels really good to use compared to some other ones. If you do prefer the use of a tiered wand in a lot of situations, you can carry it as a swap out if you like. There's a lot of bosses that just stand still with low defense that conducting does a way better job against, as you saw with the DPS graph I showed earlier. Even though the conducting wand does have less range than the tiered ones, it still does have a safe 8 tile range, so killing bosses like the Tomb of the Ancient Ones still feels safe. But as I mentioned before, higher defense enemies, conducting wand doesn't do as well against. Still does better than tiered ones, but as you start doing dungeons like Tomb of the Ancients, and especially Exalt dungeons, because they have even more defense on average, the conducting wand will start to suffer a bit, and that's when you want to look into getting another wand, either an upgrade or another swap out. And those wands can be example like the Abomination's Wrath that we talked about earlier, or the Wand of the Fallen. We'll go into those in a future video. The 4 wisdom the wand gives you just by equipping it means that you can use your ability more often, which is especially nice if you have a bad pet, since you won't be healing much mana from it. And it also makes your ability stronger if you're a priest or if you're a sorcerer, since they have whiz scaling abilities. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe for the next video. Also, shout out to the patrons, Twitch subs, and members on YouTube for keeping this channel alive. Peace.